we're getting near the year end, so we're just trying to close up or finish up some projects that were started, or like we've got we have to amend our snow and ice management policy. We found a couple of things that were lacking in that. We've noticed that anytime town staff has to attend a meeting or in some place, that the cost of food has risen greatly. And we sort of have to up their budget a bit for that. We're looking at a cross-connection control bylaw. Basically, any new builds, that would mean that you have to put in a sort of like a one-way valve so the water doesn't run back into the water system.
Now let me stop you there, because that came out late yesterday. The policy draft on
right.
And a lot of people won't understand what you mean by that. But let's clarify. We're talking about if somebody in the town of Oxford wants to hook into the town water supply,
correct,
and has also perhaps a well, or some other water source.
That's correct, yeah.
What you're talking about is there has to be a valve to make sure that their extra water source does not flow back into the town system. That's this cross-connection thing.
Yes.
Because your water is treated and is pure, and their extra water might not be.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And also, in times when, say we lose our water, if you've got water in my house is situated quite high up. But if we lose our water, if the water is off, basically most of the water in my house will drain to the lowest spot back through the pipes. And that'll put a stop to that as well. So anyway, it's just something that is suggested we put in place, and it makes sense to put it in place. So that's just a bylaw we're looking at for tonight, or I guess it's first reading. Yeah, first reading of it. And we're discussing, once again, speed boards, try to get people to slow down coming into town and leaving town, but mostly coming into town.
I saw that it was on the agenda for Amherst Town Council as well. The police were asking for, and it was recommended by their police commission, that the town there go ahead and buy one of these mobile units so you can go set it up on the road where you find people are starting to abuse the speed limit. You can put up the big sign that tells you you're now speeding. You know, the digital readout that says exactly how fast you're going.
So hopefully that'll have some effect. Also, good news, we have hired a new MPAL person. Marion Abbott's her name, and we're just looking for good things from her. So she's a welcome addition. We haven't had one for a while, so now we're back into the game, I guess. And
now you need to be more clear, though. I know what MPAL is.
I was about to say.
Oh, go for it, sir. I'll go for coffee. Tell me when you're done.
Well, it's not that long. It is a municipal physical activity leader. And basically they act as a coordinator for trying to get people more active. We know that we all have to stay active for good health. So basically that is what they will do, like act as a liaison, set up programs. So there you go. And like I say, they will, be sending out announcements as to what's going on physically. So it's all good. We try to get everybody off their couch, even if it's just for a half an hour a day.
Have you been spying on my house?
No, I haven't, Bill. I stopped doing that since you sent the warning.
Couch potato land. There you go.
I know. It's quite easy to plunk your bottom down in the couch and relax and sit in front of the boob tube or read a book. But, yeah, we all want to try to stay a little more active.
Absolutely. What else do you have?
Oh, well, that's about it. It's not, like I say, we're getting close to the year end. We're still working on the budget for 25-26 and trying to clean up the books for 24-25. So, I mean, a lot of it is just let's call it paperwork, tying up loose ends, whatnot. That's about it. What else am I looking at here? Well, we've got discussing putting a security camera on the Black River parking lot and tie in with the town hall security system, just so if stuff's going on there, we can sort of keep an eye on it, because we do have a system to record it. So we're looking at discussing that as well tonight. And
now,
of course,
you also have something that's very, very positive happening in the community, and it's starting to grow up and out. I'm talking about the framework for the new community center. People must be walking down the street at the first blush saying, "What's that?" And then realizing what it is and say, "Wow, that's big."
Yes, and they have, a lot of steel's gone up in this month in what I would term just horrible weather. So I think they're making good progress.
Absolutely. And, if anybody wanted proof that it was going to happen, the proof is now there.
Well, the skeleton is there. But anyway, they're making good progress. So it's always nice to sort of see what's happening next there.
Yeah, and you mentioned a couple of times about the year end. Of course, somebody be saying, wait a minute, December 31st, that was a long time ago. But of course, you, like all other municipalities and governments, you have a what they call a fiscal year end, a financial year end, and that's the end of March. And that April 1 is not just April Fool's Day, it's the beginning of a new fiscal year.
That's right. Yeah. So, and like I say, it takes us a while to get all the books ready. And Ruth Ann, our head accountant's working diligently so she can present the new budget and let us know, give us our report card for how we did in 24-25. That's just as important. We've had a few good years, haven't had any deficits for, I think, 4 years now. So we're looking better as far as the province is concerned.
No, you need to clarify for me, you have no deficits. You're not allowed to have a deficit. Well, I beg your pardon. You can end up with a deficit, but you're not allowed to plan for. You're not allowed to set a budget with a deficit. That's true.
That is true, yes. So, we've there was a couple of lean years that took place, but the last few years we've come through and managed to no deficits. So that's always a good sign for the economic health of the community.
Doesn't it always make you wonder that the people who passed the law that hold you to budgeting always to at least break even and hopefully make a little extra surplus, the people who made that the law that tie your hands, the provincial government, they go into deficit all the time.
Well, what the former mayor of Halifax said at one time, Ottawa has the money, or the feds have the money, the provinces have all the power, and the municipality has all the problems. And I think it's a pretty fair assessment.
And now he's the lieutenant governor. Maybe he should do something about it.
Well, like I say, I can see the validity of not letting municipalities run with deficits, because once you get in that hole, you're my goodness, it's hard to dig your way out.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, we know about it. So anyway, we're pleased that we're keeping it on the right. We keep our books in the black, not the red.
Now, you've told us all these wonderful good things that are going on and so on, and I don't mean to suggest there are bad things, but there usually are things that have a negative connotation. I don't expect you to want to jump up and tell us right from the get-go, but we have that guy, Mark Rushton, who's going to be at your council, and he'll be on the radio tomorrow, and he's always looking to see about the stuff you don't want to talk about. So I give you the chance here the last couple of minutes to talk about the things that are thorny. How's that? Have you got any?
Well, like every community, we're plagued with potholes, and this time of year is got to be the worst for new ones popping up. It's funny. A friend of mine I went to university with 50 years ago phoned me up Friday night, and the first words out of his mouth was, "I'm just dodging potholes up here in Ottawa. That's all I seem to be doing." So it was sort of reassuring to hear that Oxford's not the only community with that sort of problem. But that is always a concern, and like I say, we just have to deal with it and fix as we go kind of thing.
Now, we've talked before about the many water breaks over the years, and in more recent years, of course, it became a standard event. You just kind of, the temperature is like it is today, warm, and it's going to drop down sub-zero, and I wonder where it's going to break tonight. And
Oh, don't say that, Bill.
well, no, but the point is, this winter has been more stable, and you haven't had the issues and concerns. Well, concern may be there, but you haven't really had the issues. It's been, dare I say, a good year.
Well, I think as far as the water breaks go, I don't want to say it, Bill, but you know what I'm thinking. So I'm not going to say it just because I don't want to put the jinx on us. But yeah, it's been a better year. Let's put it that way. I don't want to put the curse on us, but yeah, it's been a better year as far as that goes.
Now, speaking of the year end and the fiscal period, have you actually started to budget? The budget process is long and dragged out. Basically, what you have to do is figure out what would you like to spend.
Yeah.
Then you look at what do we have to spend, and then you go back and you cut the spending list down again. That's usually the budget process, isn't it?
Right, it's pretty well it. Now, there's a couple of things on it that we feel we must get. But like I say, that will be a roundtable discussion for council and the various committees and commissions to say, well, we sort of like to do this, or we should do this, or maybe we can get away without doing this year. So, yeah, it's a lot of give and take, I guess. But like I said, we've got to come up with a budget that sort of helps us put some money into reserves and covers all the needs that we have to address.
Now, over the years, I've covered a lot of different councils, of course, and you could tell at the heart of it that most councillors would say, we just don't want to raise the tax rate. We just want to hold it. We just don't want to spend an extra penny and so on. And yet we find ourselves in a time in a financial crisis in our country, in our province. And indeed, it impacts us locally. Cost of living is way up there. You mentioned groceries, for example. The cost of putting in new water pipes, the cost of paving, filling those potholes, everything has gone up, 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 up. And there comes a time when you look at it, I say you, I'm talking about your council, you look at it and say, we can't really hold back much longer. What does it take for you in your heart to say we have to raise taxes?
I don't know, Bill, because I'm not there yet, to be honest. I like to say we're fortunate in that we've had a lot of new housing be erected here in town. And that sort of helped us build our tax base enough that we've been able to sort of try to hold the taxes. But yeah, I don't know. I like to say taxes are high and people are struggling. So, and you certainly don't want to tax people out of their homes. That's probably one of my biggest worries. I just wouldn't want to do that. I don't have an answer for you. If I did, I'd probably be quite wealthy, but I'm not.